sir. I have start the recording and the meeting is live on our Facebook page.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, what we are going to do is today we are going to basically first revise the role of Cloud Development Kit, why we are learning it. We covered step 0 last time. We are going to cover, review it again, not cover it, but review it again. The first thing you have to understand is that enterprises are now moving towards cloud development in mass. The reason is that scalability. And if we are not using cloud development, it is very difficult if you are developing a old style monolithic app without microservices, without Lambda functions. It's very difficult to scale. Therefore, if we want to service millions of people, the only solution at this stage is cloud computing. Once we have decided how to adopt cloud computing, the other question that arises is, the next question that arises is that how should we basically program the cloud? There are two portions to cloud development. Anish, yes, you raised a hand.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. I just want to share that I have shared the GitHub code link to the chat window. So everyone who is participating this chat window, please copy this chat window, the code from the code window. Today we will follow step 1 and step 2 of the of this code. So I have already shared you just to remind you. Thank you, sir. You can carry on.
Thank you. Now, what I was saying was that there are two aspects to cloud computing. Two things that are required. The first is you have to provision the infrastructure. By infrastructure, I mean you have to basically ask the servers to become available to you. Because right now, before you do anything, for example, if you have not done anything right now at this stage, the servers are being used by other people or are lying vacant on AWS services. So therefore, the first thing is that you have to provision the infrastructure. You have to ask AWS that please deploy these code. The second one is the code which actually runs on these machines. So there are two aspects. First is the infrastructure. The second one is the code. Now, in order to tell AWS that please run this code on these machines, how do you do that? There are two ways. Number one, you basically go to the user interface, you go to the console of AWS and basically give, by clicking on different things and entering data, you provision that stuff. But the problem with that is the more bigger you get and the bigger the project gets, it becomes difficult and more difficult. Why? Because you don't remember. For example, in my case, my memory is bad. After a while, I will forget how to do things. Sometimes it's just in a week's time. When I'm doing it, I'm very professional at it. But after a few, I think somebody, Shahrukh, you have to mute your mic. The thing is, I forget things. And the second thing is very difficult to duplicate. For example, if you are developing applications and developing, what do you call, code, how do you duplicate it? For example, something goes wrong and you want to duplicate the whole thing. You have to go to the UI. So therefore, the second option is that have a script which calls the API of AWS. Previously, we used to do different things of calling these APIs. There were different technologies, but now a very powerful technologies have appeared on the scene, which is being called CDK. The good thing about CDK is that you use your normal language in which you do all the programming. You also provision the infrastructure using that language. For example, the language of choice for us is TypeScript. We will develop code in TypeScript as well as we will use TypeScript to provision the code. So therefore, that is the main argument for using CDK. We have already argued why are we using cloud and so on. Now let me share my screen.
Sir, while you are sharing your screen, I want to add certain things. For example, if I want to deploy, I have created a web application and I want to deploy that web application to different people for the different people on AWS. So in this scenario, using CDK would help me. Like for example, if my server are running Django backend and React front end.
Yes, the thing is, you will have to deploy it on some machines, and there are different ways to do it. No matter what kind of server you deploy, you will need CDK.
Okay, so if I will be using CDK, it will help me in a way that I'll create a script. So whenever I need to deploy, I just run that script, and the machine, the instance, the storage, and the Docker image, everything would be automatically instantiated in the AWS.
Exactly.
Okay. So rather than going and every time creating machines and instance and so many things using the GUI, I could create a script once and use that script whenever I need to create a VM for my client that's going to use my web application.
And even if you are using a different kind of deploying a different kind of application, you can copy paste that script and basically customize it and use it.
Yeah, that I need
therefore,
to say.
Therefore, writing a script is much easier than using the user interface. For very small project, if you want to do a small thing, using the user interface, interface can see the screen. The user interface for small things, user interface is okay, but for large things, it's not very well and very cumbersome to do.
Yes, sir. Sir, one thing I remembered now. Previously, when AWS doesn't support CDK type of things, I have to write a script for my understanding. That script does not run on AWS, but it'll give me a guide. For example, if I go and enable so many things and create so many things from the UI, I need to write down these steps in a script file. So most of the time, I and my team has to follow these steps to create certainty, because you cannot remember everything in your mind. So you have to create a step. So this is very necessary whenever we need a instance and install anything in the AWS using a GUI. Even then, we need a I could say the step or action item files, so we can use it later on. So scripting or writing certain steps even in the GUI is required. So CDK is making things very easy, because these steps would automatically run on the on the AWS rather than I have to use the GUI following these steps.
Exactly. I used to do exactly the same thing. I used to write script myself. It was not for the computer, but for myself. Do this, do this, do this, do this. And if they change the UI even a little bit, I got confused. Or if I don't remember the UI, or if our script was not clear, it used to create a lot of problems for me.
Yes, sir. So that's why everyone who think that CDK is not essential. So I want to notify them that even they are using AWS with the GUI options. They even having some type of raw script type of things.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
They
why
were
not
already doing.
use CDK?
Yes. Why not use CDK? And it is in the same language in which you do programming. So therefore, it is not a huge problem.
Yeah, and that would be the part of your Git repository. You can easily upload that script to your Git, and things would be very easy.
Yes, very, very nice of you. Okay. Now, let me start by reviewing a little bit step 0. Look at this repository. Anish, can you see my repository? Screen sharing repository?
Yes, of course, sir.
Okay. Now,
and I have already shared the link of these repositories. So I would request everyone. I guess there are the 20 people are participating, including me, Shahrukh, and Sarzia. So please open that link with us and follow
yes,
as with us. So it would be easy to explore certain things rather than watching screen only.
Okay. Now the first thing is, how do you initiate the CDK? We have already covered how to install it and rest of the stuff. How to install the AWS CLI, how to install CDK. That was covered in last class. We are just going to use a small step to use, just take a little bit of time to cover this step again. First thing you notice is when you say CDK init, it creates a package. And that package, if you go to the bin directory, you can see that it has initiated an app, created a new app, and in that app, he has uploaded the stack which we are going to develop. Therefore, there is a parent app. In that parent app, there is a stack, CDK stack, which is a child of app. Now we move forward.
Sir, I want to state that I have also opened these code which we have already recorded as a. So if somebody needs to review these codes in Visual Studio Code, so I could share my screen. But you are fine. You can carry on here.
Okay.
It's easy to review at least using these repo rather than copy and cloning in the Visual Studio Code.
Yes, exactly. Now, that stack, which is a child of app, is basically, here you have adding your, this is the code we have written. For doing the first hello world, what we are doing is just creating a bucket. What is a S3 bucket? You are just creating a virtual hard drive, a small virtual hard drive on AWS environment, if you want to think about it in that way. There are 3 things which, the first one, we have passed this. This is called the scope. We are saying the parent, this is the pointer reference of the stack object, which is this one. This is the class. But we basically are saying that the object that has been created, which has been added to the app, the reference to that is contained in this. And we are saying that reference, which is the stack reference of the type of stack, which is a stack object of the type stack, is basically contained in this, and we are passing this with it. So therefore, now there is a parent, which is the app, actually now has become the grandparent. Grandparent is the app. The second thing is the stack. And the third thing is the S3 bucket. Yes, Anish.
Sir, can you please enlarge the screen size so it would be easier for everyone to review code more easily? Just increase the window size of yeah, this is, yeah sir, this is good enough.
Okay. Now, so therefore now S3 bucket has a grandparent. Its parent is the object stack, and its grandparent is the object app of type app. So there are three objects now. In CDK, everything has to have a parent. And this thing is called the construct. This construct is a level 2 construct. Remember, we mentioned there are three types of constructs. One is the level 1 construct, the other one is the level 2 construct, and level 3 construct. Level 1 constructs are very basic constructs and requires you to give it all the possible properties. And it is built on CloudFormation. Usually, if it is available, we try to at least use the level 2 stack. Level 2 stack is basically not the stack. Level 2 constructs are basically, they provide all the defaults so that we don't make mistakes and help you in building infrastructure very quickly. And the third one is the level 3 stacks, which combine a lot of level 2 stacks and build a complete infrastructure. At this stage, level 3 constructs are not very mature. So therefore, most of the time we are using level 2 constructs. Now look at this thing. Therefore, everybody understands it. Could you please, Anish, explain this, or Shahrukh, this code?
Sir, I'll go first before Shahrukh. So what I see that the code starts from the import. We are importing from the CDK core and AWS S3. The core is a first level of our requirement, the core thing for running the CDK, and we are using the S3. S3 is a Amazon storage system that provide us the storage media for our AWS instances. The next thing is the export class, and the class name that extends cdk.stack. It means that I am creating a new class that actually extending itself from a CDK stack. The CDK already imported in the line number 1. And I'm already creating a constructor. Constructor means the code that will automatically the construct that the code that would automatically run whenever I create an object of this class. So there is a scope that provide that this is a CDK construct, and there is an ID and the property. So whenever I need to objectify or instantiate this class, I have to provide first scope and unique ID and certain properties. The properties could be multiple. So two things is mandatory, and the single or scalar, and the third thing is a property is a set of value that would be provide in the key value pair. And after that, it will also run the constructor method of the parent class. That's why we are write super here. Now in the line just after L2 bucket, we are actually creating an object of S3 bucket, and for creating a new bucket, a new storage where we can store our data on AWS. There is the first thing is a scope. This is this you have already mentioned, and the unique ID, which should be string. This is called my first bucket is a name or ID of that bucket. And the last thing is a extra attributes or extra feature we need required in our storage bucket. This is called version true. It means that when we will create our bucket, it has a versioning of our data into a different set of version. That's as far I understand. Over to
Very
Shahrukh.
good. Yes. Just to revise, if you see the bucket construct, there are three things, three parameters. Number one is the scope, which you tell your parent, who your parent is. Number two is the name, unique name, and number three, properties. Each construct will have different properties, but the first two will be common. Of course, the name will be different in each case. You have to give a unique name. And now I have a question for everyone. What is CDK a library or a framework? Is CDK a library or a framework?
Sir, I would call it a framework.
Anybody else?
Sir, I will call it as a framework also.
It's a framework.
Yes, sir. It seems like a framework.
What is the difference between a library and a framework?
Sir, framework has rules and regulation in which you will have to code.
Sir, as I understand, it's a very confusing matter and sometimes it's controversial. But actually, library is a set of functions that are available for our help. But in the framework, there's not only a set of functions, but also some guided principles or a set of rules that we have to follow. So a framework is a next level of a library. Anyone else?
Anyone else?
Of set of operations, but framework provides a structure on which you can build, or a skeleton structure you can build upon.
All of you were correct, but I will give you the most succinct definition which I read somewhere. A library, you always call. You call a library. If there is an API, you call that API. A framework calls you. I repeat. A framework says, don't call me. I will call you. Basically, the framework calls your code. Now look at this thing. We wrote this stack 00 hello CDK stack class. This object we created in the bin folder. Do we know? Now look at this. This object was created in the bin. And what we did was, do we know what methods we are calling? Nope. We are not calling any methods. The framework is calling us. So the CDK cloud development case is a framework, because in the library you call it and a framework calls you. By call you means calls your code. Everybody got it? Any questions?
So it means that we will write our code, and these codes would be used by our framework when we will executing our framework or that particular framework.
Yes.
It will automatically start executing our code whenever we have provided. Is
Yes.
this correct?
Yes. When we say CDK npm run build, then we say CDK synthesize, which creates the cloud formation template, and then we say CDK deploy. This CDK deploy basically calls our code. We don't know which method they are calling or what they are doing. And always remember, once you are done with practicing, you say basically CDK destroy. Otherwise, in the background, the application will keep on running. Now we will move forward. Any questions? Okay. Now, what we want to do is, what is a lambda function? The future is serverless. What do we mean by serverless? By serverless, we mean we just provide the code and the maintenance and everything is done by the cloud provider. AWS manages your code. We are not worried about, for example, if you deploy a virtual machine and if they are too much load, your virtual machine will become very slow. But in serverless, you are not worried about it. Serverless does not mean there are no servers. What it means is that you don't manage the servers. Therefore, let's see, we are not how we deploy code. Now let's see, look at this lambda function. This is the code. Anish, check it out. There's a function. This is called function as a service. What is it called? Function as a service.
The screen size, can you increase the screen size? Yeah, this is good.
Now, function, look at this function. This is a function which the name of it is handler. And we are doing something, actually we are not doing anything. We are just returning hello CDK. And just saying that you have hit this path. Of course, you can do any other things here, right here, whatever you want to do. You can call a database, get data from it and return the data or whatever you want to do. Now, imagine how powerful the idea is. Basically, you are just writing code. Now we will hand this code over to the cloud provider, that is AWS, and AWS will make sure that it is continuously run, no matter how many people hit it, how many requests are made, it will keep on running. And how do they do it? What they do is they create an instance of this code. The first user comes, which is called hot load, which is called actually cold loading. Cold loading is that when the first user comes, it will take a few seconds to load this. Then, for example, simultaneously a second user comes, it creates a second instance. At one time, only one instance is being run. Sorry, one instance is handling one request. So therefore, if there are two requests simultaneously, there will be two instances. But if they are in sequence, for example, there is a first request and a second request after that, it has returned, then it will not create a new second instance. The first instance will be running only. And it will take care of the next request. Now this API, by API, I mean all these things, saying please provide this in the parameters. This is passed by AWS to you. And basically you return a specified data to the whoever is calling this. Now the beauty of it is, you have to understand, the beauty is that you basically are using, you are just coding and you are not worried about how to deploy it. That's not my problem. Now let's go to see how are we going to create the infrastructure, and then AWS will manage it.
In the step one, we are going to start from the lib folder. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I would
just
request everyone that if you have already access to GitHub Lab, please try to follow the steps with us. And so you will also practicing and executing the code while you are working or watching this screen with us.
Yes. Now look at this thing. Now we are defining the infrastructure. As I mentioned, there are two things, the code and the infrastructure. In serverless, the rest of it will be taken care by AWS. We do not have to worry. If there are no users, there will be no charge. And we will be charged by the number of requests. And it has got a very large fleet here as well. Therefore, you can use for small projects, you don't have to pay anything. Now, look at this thing. This is a new, in the last example, we used a S3 construct. This is a Lambda construct, which is function as a service. We are saying Lambda dog function. This is the scope, which is the stack. We are saying hello handler. This is the name of the first Lambda functions. And we are saying the runtime is going to be Node.js 10. And it is saying, please get the code from the SN directory Lambda. And in that Lambda directory, go to the hello file and the handler function. Now what will happen? A user will come and call this Lambda function. Where will you get the URL of this Lambda function? When you deploy it, it will show you on your screen, on your console, that this is the URL. And we are going to call that URL, it will going to fire. But right now, it is not, this Lambda function is not publicly available. So therefore, you cannot call it from outside. When it is deployed, you can go to the AWS console and invoke it.
Okay, sir.
But I forget about.
Okay, sir. But at this point, I want to give you a feedback that what I learned that is same just like a previous function. The new thing is that we are creating a new Lambda function, the code at line number 10. And again, for the Lambda function, we have a scope this and the construct, the ID hello handler. And I want to that my code will need to run on our Node.js instance. So the AWS runtime would automatically instantiate a virtual machine that would contain Node.js 10 point any version, but at least Node.js 10. And then after instantiating that machine, it will take code from a certain directory, and the starting point of that code would be hello.handler. Sir,
Yes.
I'm going fine till here?
Exactly.
So,
Now
sir, what is
Yes.
the last line? The new API GW.
No, right now to forget about it. We are going to go
Okay.
step by step.
Okay, fine.
Now, what is in the Lambda? I just showed you in the Lambda, hello.ts, hello.handler. And this is the function. Anytime a request will come, it will create an instance and pass the context to it. That's it. If there are 5 million requests simultaneously, it will handle it. Previously, in order to create these kind of applications, achieve this kind of stability, you needed 10 people. infrastructure people, server people, internet people, network people. Now everything is AWS's problem, not my problem. Of course, they charge me for it, but the charge will be 100 times less if I was hiring my own staff for doing all this. So this is why serverless is the future. Any questions?
Sir, comparing with the same thing, I need to create myself. For example, I have to instance a new virtual machine at AWS. Then I'll install Node.js server over there, and then I'll start using it. So definitely, if even the server would be cheaper than I required, but actually I have to keep it running all the time or manually stop and start this type of thing. So in a long run, I guess the cost would be short in the Lambda style of working rather than our manual working. This is my feedback. Anyone want to share its own idea or any feedback?
Now we are going to any questions? Okay, let's move forward. Now the thing is, Lambda function is a piece of code which runs in the background, of course. If you want to think about it, actually you don't have to think about it. I don't. But just to make you understand that you don't become confused that how is AWS doing it. What they do is basically they create a virtual machine. When you deploy the Lambda function, they create an image of a virtual machine which has Node.js and everything installed. And that virtual machine is passive. As soon as we get the first request, that virtual machine becomes active and starts handling the request. That's it. But all this stuff is done by AWS, not me. It saves me a lot of time and effort and money. Now let's go back.
Can you explain a little bit about the passive style of working, especially in the context of the AWS?
What do you mean by that? I didn't understand the question.
Actually, you said that the machine would be available, but it would be in a passive mode. So it means
No.
that
The thing is, virtual machine, you have to instantiate a virtual machine.
okay.
Therefore, if there are no requests, the virtual machine is sitting on the hard drive. It is not being loaded in the memory.
And it would be done automatically. It doesn't need to do anything.
When you get the first request, it will create an instance of that virtual machine, and virtual machine will come in the memory.
Okay. Later on, if there is no request exists, it would be automatically goes into the suspend mode or inactive mode.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And it means that whenever somebody requests first time, it will take some time to get his request back.
The first request is usually the slowest, which we call the cold load.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that this is very, very much necessary because and in everything, even in our desktop computer, whenever you start file first time, it will take a time because it was loading from the disk to the memory, but it will open that file once again, it would be automatically comes from cache. So that's not a new thing. Our exclusive thing in the AWS is a very traditional style of all computing environment. So that's fine. I can understand that thing.
Okay. Now let's go back to the lib. What we are going to do is, Anis, we are going to first explain the code as we have done, and then we are going to share your screen, and then we are going to run it on your machine. Is that okay with you? You are going to use your money to post it. Now, let's see. What is this? This is an instance of API gateway. Whenever you want to call a REST,
screen size.
Whenever you want to create a REST request, Lambda you have to have a API gateway. Outside people outside AWS cannot call a Lambda function directly. What you have to do is call the API, have a API gateway which has a Lambda function attached to it. And anybody who calls from outside basically reaches the API gateway, and the API gateway handles that request to the Lambda function. Now, as we can see, this is the second construct. This is the first construct. And this is the second construct. What it is saying? It is saying that Lambda, it will be a Lambda REST API. And what will be the scope? Still this. What will be the name? Unique name, endpoint. And handler is hello, which is this one. So this hello basically is this. And we have passed it that you basically call whenever API gateway gets a REST request, you basically call this. Now what we are going to do is, so therefore, Anis, are you there?
Sir.
What I'm going to do is turn off my screen sharing. And basically you have already cloned the repository?
Not yet, sir. I just actually apply 2 or 3 few steps. So do I need to clone the repository or then you just have to write all things from scratch?
But the thing is, it will take too much time if we write the whole step ourselves.
Okay, fine. So let me share my screen. Okay. I'm sharing my whole desktop here because I need to run in a different Windows and console. So actually, I supposing that I'm going to install everything and from start, but now I'm removing. Okay, and then I'm going to, this is where is the second step? This is the first step. Okay.
You just clone the whole directory.
Okay.
Whole repository.
Yeah.
And just go to the code if you have, and it will. You can use Git to clone it.
Okay. So I'm here in this folder, and now I'm going to clone.
The team which created the repository was Bootcamp 2020 team, and they put in a lot of hard work in creating this repository.
Yes, sir. I can understand this thing because whenever I review, I find it a lot of informational videos and code and many things. I'm also copying the GitHub link, so you can also clone. I would request our fellows, only 18 left, that please try to clone this repo at your local station, so you can also keep working along with me rather than just watching and observing things. So it would be a bit more interactive for you if you follow the same steps I'm following.
Okay, before we go forward, because it will take some time of cloning the thing, let's review the thing. If you go to step 1, the first thing the people face is, if you go to package.json, if you see this, it is AWS-CDK version 1.72.0. Now the problem is, for most people, they will have a latest version of AWS CDK. For example, in your case, you will have the latest version of the CDK, which is about 1 point something like, we'll see, we'll just check. This version has to match exactly, not this one,
Okay.
CDK version.
I guess I'm writing a command a bit.
No, just say CDK version.
It's a 1.117.
Yes. Now, let's check what is the latest version of CDK.
On the internet or in the console?
Go to the internet and see. Just say CDK JSON GitHub. You don't have to go through, just say
It's a
CDK.
119.
Antik. Now, the problem is there are 3 versions. The 3 versions are,
Sir, I couldn't hear your last sentence.
there are
Due to
3
some
versions of there are 3 versions of CDK. One is in this directory,
Okay.
being used by this project, which is some and one is the latest one, and one which you are using. Therefore, whenever I start using CDK, this is a temporary problem, because when we are going to move towards 1.2, sorry, not 1.2, but 2.0 CDK, this problem which we have created ourselves is going to be solved. Because right now please go back to the repository and look at the project JSON. Please, yes.
This one?
No, project JSON, project.json.
Package.
Sorry, package.json. I'm going senile. Yes, please scroll down a bit. Now look at this thing. Each construct is in a different package. AWS API Gateway, AWS Lambda, AWS Core, everything is in a different package. What do we do? This is in 1, because it is in 2.0, this will become in a single package, therefore this problem will be resolved to some extent. Not at some extent, but it will be resolved. But right now, what you want is, for example, in your version, as soon as we clone the repository, let's see how much we have progressed.
Okay, sir. So it's 64%.
Therefore, what we have to do is, it's going to be in the next 2 minutes. What we have to do is basically let's update our CDK in the background. How do you do that? npm, go to the command line, create another command line. npm install I. Install is good enough. You can use install or I. Now say AWS dash CDK minus G.
npm install I.
Not install I. In I means either you use install or I. Therefore, we have to install AWS CDK dash CDK minus G space.
I guess it's already installed.
This is installed, but we are installing the latest one.
Okay.
Now let's check the version. Now we have the latest CDK.
Is
Therefore,
anyone else
anytime,
following these steps in his own laptop or
therefore,
computer?
anytime I start working on CDK, I install the latest CDK. Because the pace of change is very fast. They're improving and adding stuff and basically updating everything very fast. But this thing will be solved. Now what we have to do is, as soon as we have the download,
It's done, sir.
it's done.
Yeah.
Now open step 1 in your Visual Studio Code.
Okay. CD full stack LS LCD step 01. Okay. Step 01. Okay, sir.
Okay, now go back to project.json. Sorry, package.json. Wherever it is written 1.72, please replace it by 1.119.
Sir, do I need to update these libraries also?
Yes, anything which is 172. Now we are done. What we are going to do is install the packages in the local file, because right now, if you see git ignore, check out git ignore. No, go to in Visual Studio, just check git ignore. As you can see, it is saying that node modules are not added. Look at the 4th line in the repository. Therefore, we have to download the node modules. How do we do that? Go to the command prompt. And we are going to say npm install. Yes, Faisal is right.
using a framework need lot of practice, because we have to remember a lot of options that are one liner but impact very heavily on all our projects. So we have these commands on our fingertips, which only comes when we start practicing and creating a lot of coding like that. So this is a very great step, that you also clone the full repo and then start one by one exploring these repo like we are doing. So that would be a great help, and it will be make you master of TypeScript and the CDK both.
Exactly. And the thing is, even I, who have a little bit background in CDK, find this repository very helpful. If I have to do something, I just go and copy code from there. Otherwise, you forget yourself. Even if you've made your repository yourself, you forget it. Now it is done. Now let's go back to the Visual Studio Code and see if the node modules are there.
Okay. So
The
these
Python
are, I
is,
can see this.
anybody who wants to use the Python, yeah, the node module has been installed. That's perfect. Now what we have to do is, let's start deploying it. Anish, AWS command line CLI is already installed on your machine. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So therefore, let's first say CDK. Let's go to the README file and check what do you have to do. I remember, but I want you guys to remember it also by going through the step one. What is the step one?
Actually, we have already done, because we are cloning. So we have if we are developing this project
Yes.
from scratch, we have to follow step 1, step 2, and step
Yes.
3.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
guess as we are already clone the whole project, so we have to
Yes.
start
Go down.
from step 7, I guess.
Now the thing is, you just just hold on. It's step 6.
Yeah.
The thing is, in CDK, in step 0, we did not have any of our node resources. Right now, we have a code which has to be uploaded. Before it is passed to the Lambda function, we have to basically give a command which says CDK bootstrap. You only have to give it once. You do not have to give it again and again. Now go to the command prompt.
Excuse me, sir. I couldn't hear your last sentence.
What I'm saying is, go to the command prompt.
And copy these things.
Yes.
Okay. Rather than typing, I could type copy paste CDK bootstrap.
Now you have to understand what it is doing. What it is doing is creating a resource, S3 resource, where all your code and other assets will be stored. You have to only do it once for your account. Enter it.
Sir, whenever I need to compile my project, do I need to run CDK bootstrap?
Nope. You have to only run it once in your lifetime, in your account.
Okay.
Now what it does is basically creates an environment for you. Where is it creating? US East 1 in that data center.
So
Look at this thing.
Okay. Okay.
Go back to the. It is creating a S3 bucket where he is going to store all your assets. Think of it as a temporary temp file. You're done.
Yes, sir. So
Now the
this is the
bootstrap.
next step which I required at least first. So it's a staging environment or where I could deploy my code would be created in the AWS data center at least
Exactly.
one time.
Everybody has to understand they do not have to do it again and again. Only once. For each step, you don't have to do it. You only do it once. Now let's see CDK synthesize. Synth. What does it do? What is done is, could you go back and let's see. What is done is, it is created a cloud formation template. It is created a cloud formation template. Remember, if you are not using CDK, you would have to write all these things. Imagine the headache.
Okay, it's actually transpile my code into a cloud formation code. Am I right?
Yes, exactly.
But because my code are level 2 and the cloud formation is in level 1, so there would be a lot of codes generated for my level 2 code.
Yes, exactly. Otherwise, it is created all the defaults for you.
Okay,
It's a lot of code.
makes sense. I guess the people who are already involved in certain type of programming or solution or software development could understand that what the transpilation is and what the compilation is. So if you have any question, please keep asking. So,
Manish, why don't you explain transpiling?
sir, first of all, in the previous time when I was young, so there is only compiling. It means that whatever I write source code, that would be compiled into machine code. So computer could execute these code and perform certain type of tasks. So at that time we were called compiling. But nowadays there's a new thing has been involved when I'm not so young. That there is a transpilation. Transpilation means that my target code in another language and my source code in another language. So, and a transpiler would read my source code and convert into another language. In this sense, we are using two different type of transpiler. One transpiler that convert my TypeScript code into the JavaScript code, so it could be run on the Node.js server or in the browser. The another transpiler I'm using that convert my CDK code into the cloud formation code. So because both are the source code and not machine executable code, so I'm using the term transpiling rather than compiling. That's
Perfect.
it.
Perfect. Now, let's see what is the next step. Right
should
now,
I
we are
run this?
deploying it the first time. We don't have to use CDK diff, but this is an optional step. If you have already deployed it and you want to see what is the difference between the previous cloud formation and this cloud formation. Right now, we are going to go directly to CDK deploy. Ata, do you have a question? Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Now, what it is doing? It is basically taking the cloud formation which is generated and shifting it to AWS. uploading it to AWS.
And these is a cloud formation code will execute one by one and start implementing certain thing over the AWS environment. Am I right, sir?
Yes, exactly. In the meanwhile, Anish,
Yes, sir.
go to the website and log into AWS. The first thing we're going to, let's go back to the console and see if CloudFormation has been deployed.
So it says, sir, that this is deployed. Do I need to
Just copy this link. First, let's see if it is deployed or not.
so do I need to run it first or do I need to check it?
No, you don't have to do anything. I just wanted to show everyone that the CloudFormation template has been deployed. Go into CloudFormation tab.
I guess this is already deployed here, no?
Yes.
The step
yes,
01 Lambda stack.
Yes, this has been deployed. Now, what was the second stack which was deployed? That was created. Go back, please. No. On the website, go back to the main screen where there were two things. This thing, CDK toolkit. When you said Bootstrap, this was created.
Okay. So that was created when I applied the CDK toolkit. That makes
And
sense.
when you said CDK Bootstrap, this was created. It will always be there. Don't delete this CDK toolkit. Now, go back to the main page and search for Lambda.
So this is the Lambda dashboard.
Get this thing. What it does is creates a zip file of the code. Remember we said runtime node.js 10.x. And basically the function is deployed. Here. It is running. You can test it here also.
And sir, what would happen to this?
We are getting there. I'm just showing you the first what has happened.
Okay.
Now go to the main screen again and see API gateway. A gateway has been created. Remember, it has just created the endpoint also. Now, what we are going to do is, Anish, have you used curl?
Yeah, of course, sir. Curl is a part of
Uh,
Mini's beginning.
Whenever you use APIs, just copy the URL here.
So this URL means the
Yes.
copy URL,
Yes.
copy link.
And then say curl and give it the command. Curl is a utility which makes REST requests.
So it's working, but I guess we are missing some parameter, I guess.
Yes, we will see. We will see.
Even if
Yeah,
I'll run this API from this URL.
Let's see.
Yeah. So
It's saying internal server error.
either
Let's test it. Go to Lambda functions. Now you're going to the API gateway. Let's first test the Lambda function. Go back. Yeah. Let's first check. Hello world. Test it.
I guess this test is still rather.
Look at the logs.
Log is empty. Details, runtime, import module error, cannot find module hello. Okay, couldn't find hello. This readme in the bin. I don't think so.
Remember, you know what happened?
But
We did not compile our Lambda.
okay, that's okay. We skip the one step. Okay,
Yes.
so we have to write here PSC would be enough.
Yes. Let's see.
I need to check.
No, not bin. This thing is, what has happened is that the Lambda function inside is only a TypeScript function. It is not a JS function.
Okay, now this is the JS one, na?
This is the JS one. But we have to do with the Lambda directory only. It's not finding the hello.
Okay, now this is, I can see the JS.
And now it has been created.
Okay. So now I have to
Deploy it again. CDK deploy.
sir, there's no need to
I
sync
think we
again.
also forgot to just disconnect it. We also forgot to run npm run build. Actually,
Okay. And then we have to, I guess, CDK synth.
run deploy. No, don't have to do that. Deploy does all these things.
npm deploy.
CDK deploy. There should not be any changes in the cloud formation file.
Okay. So
Done.
is this done?
Now copy the URL and post it in the browser. Let's see what happens. Got it?
Yeah, sir. It's working.
You can also test APIs in the Postman website.
It needs to sign in, I guess.
Well, the pointer is good enough. Okay,
Couldn't hear you.
Anika, let's move to the next step.
Okay, okay. So
Now I'm going to share my screen. Please stop sharing your screen.
okay. So it's all done, sir. Thank you very much. At least now I could claim myself as a CDK expert now.
Yeah, of course, of course,
Because
of course.
because I am the only one in other 18 that he did something. I guess other people are also doing, but we are the few people, I guess, in Pakistan who are trying to CDK at this moment. The other people are not doing anything in the CDK. So at least until they are also expert, we can say ourselves CDK enthusiastic at least.
Yeah, we can call it enthusiast. Yes. Now let's deploy a website. This what we did right now was develop an API. Our next target is, and our last target is to develop a website. What we have done is created a directory called website. In that website, we have created an index.html, which is nothing. It says Zia's website. That's it. Published with CDK.
So do I
Simple
need to
HTML.
destroy that lambda, or is it enough?
We are destroyed. But the good thing is, the API gateway and Lambda functions are serverless. If nobody is using that URL, you will not be charged for it. and it has got a huge free tier as well. So therefore, but the good practice is always to destroy after doing practice.
So let me check the code. CDK destroy. Okay, I'm running CDK destroy without showing the screen. And I hope that if you are practicing it, you also destroy things.
Okay. That's it. Now this, Anish, we have written
Yes,
a HTML page. Simple HTML page. Everybody knows how to do it.
Yes, sir.
Even children know how to do that. And we have put it index.html in the website directory. Now let's go to the lib directory
Yeah.
and see. Now this is a level 2 construct. That is why we have to create a lot of constructs. But level 3 constructs are coming, which will make this even simpler. How to deploy a website. Now we are doing step 2. The first thing we are doing is we are creating a website bucket, S3 bucket, where our code HTML file will be placed. Now, that's the first
Sir,
step.
Screen size.
This is the first step.
Okay, we are creating a bucket first.
Bucket is basically, as I mentioned, is a small virtual hard drive.
Yeah.
Now, we are going to create a CDN. Conceptually, this is very important. Anybody can tell us what a CDN is?
Anyone?
Nobody knows. What do you think, Anish? What is a CDN?
I couldn't remember, sir, what CDN, what
Stands for,
observation of
but
CDN.
we don't have to go with
Yeah,
that.
but I guess it's a some sort of area where you can put your static file so people could access it in the website.
CDN, let me, sorry.
So does it
See-
stand for Content Delivery Network?
Yes. It stands for Content Delivery Network.
And I think it is where people can get their videos streamed from edges of the cloud network.
Yes, exactly, my friend.
Like a telecom operator would perhaps have a server where they would keep YouTube or other Google videos, and then the customers can access it from
Yes.
within the operator
Basically,
network.
Normally, what happens is if you have only one server, there will be a lot of load on. CDN, what it does is, for example, if I'm accessing this CDN from Pakistan, it has got a location in Dubai, which is closest to me. And it will distribute the HTML file from Dubai location. If you were in New York, it will distribute it from your New York location. So therefore, CDN makes the whole deployment of websites very fast. Not the deployment, sorry, the use of websites very fast. So therefore, what we are doing is we're creating a distribution, which is a CDN, and what it is saying is saying origin, where will it get the file? It's saying website bucket, which was the first thing, this thing. And then we are saying default root object index.html. Of course, that's the root object where the website will start. Now, what is this thing? This is nothing but the printout of what is the URL of the CDN. Otherwise, where are we going to see the website? How do we know where it has deployed it? So therefore, we are basically printing it out on our console. Then this is housekeeping. Basically, what we are doing is We are copying this CDN, copying the file in the website to this bucket. That's it. So therefore, and everything inside that website directory is being copied to that bucket. So therefore, this is now, Anish, I'm going to shut off my file screen sharing.
Okay.
And please you share.
Okay. Now, this time we are closing this folder and moving back to new folder. It's a step 2, I guess.
Yes.
Hello website. Okay. Okay, letter group. Okay.
Now, don't deploy it. What we have to do is, remember, we have to update it for 119.
Okay. The code. Okay, the package of JSON, control home, control F, control R, control H, find dot 7 3 and replace dot 119. Okay. Okay, sir. So everything has been replaced with the latest.
No, but I think somewhere it is 7.4. Therefore, we have to do that also.
Okay, bad. Okay, I guess everything is fine now.
Now let's install npm install.
Okay. While while it's installing, we can move to our code review. Currently, there is a website and there is an index HTML and there is a test, which is empty stick test. And the node module is automatically installed now just because of the npm install. And I guess no, it's still installing. Okay.
And if you
And
can go to in the lib, please, let's see.
Okay, S3 buckets, see the cloud front distribution, new.
First, we created a
S3.
bucket, then we created a CDN. Then we basically outputted the URL, and then we copied the bucket. I copied the from hard drive to the bucket. 4 steps.
Okay, this is the step where we deploy the data from the bucket to the
From the
CDN.
hard drive to the bucket.
From the hard drive, from our local hard drive to the bucket.
Yes.
Okay. This is there is some insight. as we are aware that this is a boot camp, we are not going to provide you details of each and everything. But I would request that after this class today or tomorrow, try to explore these codes, learn these codes from the book, from the documentation, so you are aware of each details of all such codes. So please don't leave this boot camp just after the end of this session. Keep working on such things because it is very necessary to understand each and every details, which it will help a lot. So please keep exploring the code. You may use the documentation, you may use the book and references and our Git repository and even the older video of the boot camp. So you will learn a lot. So you have to be a master of these codes. Otherwise, you have to you would not have ability to develop many things in the CDK. Okay, sir. So npm install is ready. So do I
npm
need to?
npm start build, run build.
So actually, this npm run build would create a JavaScript. This is the transpilation of level 1. Now we have a JavaScript code exists. Our TSC TypeScript compiler that generated the JavaScript for our TypeScript.
Yes.
Now
Let's deploy it.
deploy. Doesn't need to use synth because it's already created CloudFormation code already. So it does not need to run synth again and again.
No, that's not the reason. The reason is in deploy, it already does synth.
Okay. That's great. Okay, it's created the bucket and the policy and the cloud front. And the Lambda function and the CDK bucket is great.
And I really love CDK because in a few lines of code, you do so much things, so many things.
Yeah. Rather than working a lot of things on a AWS GUI, it's really great to watch this console, which is going to green after every few seconds. It looks very easy. You're doing nothing, and and the AWS behalf on your behalf doing everything.
Anish, in 2 months' time, you will be not only an AI expert, but also a cloud expert.
Yeah,
Basically,
because and my goal is to implement our cloud AI platform using the CDK. We are already using AWS SageMaker for our AI training, model training and deployment and many things. But using the CDK, it would be more easy. Most of the time, I'll tell you very seriously, sometimes we open SageMaker notebook and left it open. So it start charging a certain amount, for example, $1 or $2, and then we have to write email to the AWS about that we have accidentally let our SageMaker environment open, and they remove these charges, this type of thing. So it was very, very common when we were working on the SageMaker. Even it's a very itself, it's a serverless environment, but sometimes keeping a notebook, they start charging. So using this CDK would help me a lot dealing with my instances based on the AI deployment over the AWS. So actually, the cloud development kit going to complement my AI working and making it easy rather than going to the GI. So because I'm already facing these challenges that you mentioned earlier in this session, I'm already facing these things. Whenever I need to deploy AI services to AWS, I have to do a lot of things using the GUI and keep remember things that did I done that thing and did I didn't that thing, this type of thing. So I guess using the CDK would be help me a lot. Okay, it's working a lot there.
It's doing a lot of hard work for you.
Yes, sir.
Now copy the domain name.
Okay, sir. This is, I guess.
Yes.
And just
And
run here.
yes. Now you are a complete cloud developer, Anish.
Yes, sir. And we didn't make this with the mistake that we have done in our last practice, step 01.
Okay, now everybody, now let's destroy the website.
Okay, CDK destroy. Yes. So, sir, while I'm destroying the website, you can
We have to basically done a lot of work today. What we are going to do is see you next time. See you next Saturday. Bye bye, everyone.
and keep practicing, please. Without practice, you cannot get. So if you have any issue, please share your concern with our Discord server. Once before going, let me share you once again our Discord server link, so you can have any problem, you can discuss over there. So sir, yeah, you can drop off from this session, and I'll share the drop.
Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye.
Love it, sir.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Uh, Okay, can anyone else share the Discord, because I'm currently unable to access the Discord server due to unknown reason. I'm trying to connect via my Discord login. Connect cloud server, code of conduct tool, invite member nouns. That anyone else has some? Okay.
Sir, I have shared link in chat.
Okay. Thank you so much. Because for certain reason I am able to access. So please try to connect with our Discord server for further